Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix is the fifth Harry Potter movie after Goblet of Fire, and this movie came out in 2007. Now, like I'm doing with all my other Harry Potter reviews, I will be containing spoilers in this review, so if you've never seen Order of the Phoenix, click off now. But if you have, let's talk about this movie and my thoughts on it. To be honest, I really love this one. It is far faster paced than a lot of the other Harry Potter films and has a different feel to it. David Yates, who goes on to direct the rest of the Harry Potter movies, brings something a little bit unique here, even though I don't think it's as well directed as 4 or 3, and I don't like it as much as them two. I still love Order of the Phoenix a lot, and this used to be one of my favourites, and sometimes it used to be one of my least favourites. I never really know about this one. It's either like top 3 Harry Potter movies or bottom 3 Harry Potter movies. I never really can decide where I'm my place with this one, but I still love it. I find it so difficult to rank all the Harry Potter movies because I love them all. It's just such an equal amount. I find it so difficult to place them in order of which ones I like more than the other. But Order of the Phoenix is one of those ones where I've never been able to place where, because at one time it is an extremely fast-moving Harry Potter movie that I think is the great bridge between Goblet of Fire and Half-Blood Prince, and bridging those two movies together in a really quick way, developing Harry, understanding his relationship with Voldemort, understanding more about what is happening, understanding more about the Ministry of Magic and how that is involved with everything, and setting up all these beats and carrying on all those beats from Goblet of Fire. I think that's where this movie works so well for me, as that placeholder, but in the greater story, it's never one I like to go back to as much, but it is one of the more entertaining Harry Potter movies, but at the same time it doesn't really have that really long, immersive feeling to it where you feel like you've lived an entire year. It's just sort of about one segment thing, which is about Harry building up his resistance after Dolores Umbridge, who is working for the Ministry of Magic, comes in as the new headmaster of Hogwarts and basically meddles with this entire school, and she is one of the most hateable movie characters of all time, and that's why she works. I hate her in every single way. I'd be surprised if someone watched this movie and liked her character. You hate her all the time. You just want her to, like, die a horrible death. She's a horrible human being, but at the same time she works so well to show that Hogwarts is changing and build this entire suspense around this movie, and it starts to feel like a real working school. The kids are doing exams, they're getting frustrated, they're getting stressed, there's arguments. Harry's feeling alone in this place that he once felt magical. He feels scared to go here because the last time he came here in Goblet of Fire, he was confronted with Voldemort, and this movie builds on that really well. It builds on Harry's struggles really well. He comes back and he just doesn't feel right. There's a scene towards the start of this movie, I believe it is actually the opening shot of this film, where he's sat at the park and he watches that family on the playground. And when he watches that family, you realise that's all he wants. That's all he wants. He just wanted a family that loved him and cared for him. And Hogwarts, that family that he now found ever since Philosopher's Stone, has now sort of been changed, now sort of calling him a liar, and him dealing with this death of Cedric Diggory, and everyone's saying that him and Dumbledore are lying about you-know-who coming back, and that entire tension that's set up there, Harry feeling more alone than ever, is really heartbreaking, because at the end of Goblet of Fire, Dumbledore tells him specifically, "You have friends here," and when he comes back, he doesn't feel like that, and he has to earn that. He realizes that that's the advantage that he has over Voldemort, is that Voldemort has no one to back him up. Voldemort doesn't have anything worth fighting for, but we do. And that's a brilliant final line of this movie, and that's pretty much what this movie is entire about, setting up Voldemort and Harry, and setting up their relationship very well in a way where they don't really interact that much in the movie besides the ending, and Voldemort trying to get inside Harry's head, Snape deceiving it. We learn a lot more about Snape. We learn a lot more about all of these characters, which I love. Harry building up, of course, his Dumbledore's army, which after Umbridge comes in and basically rules out magic from the school, we get this really engaging bit where Harry has to become the teacher. Him, Hermione and Ron set up this entire training program where Neville finds the room of requirement, and they all basically train, and that is honestly inspiring for me. This group of kids banding together to learn new tricks and new skills that they're not being taught. I find that so inspiring. Unfortunately, though, the Dumbledore's army doesn't really come into play at all in the next few movies, unfortunately. And I wish that came into more. So it sort of feels like, okay, we had this one movie of it when it was needed, but it never really came back into play. I like the setup with the Order of the Phoenix. The setup with Sirius. We learn a lot more about Sirius. We didn't really get too much for him in 3 and 4, but we learn a lot more about Sirius here. Some more emotional aspects. Him talking to Harry about the light and the dark, and Harry and Voldemort. This movie is about not how Harry and Voldemort are the same, but how they are different. And that's something I've always appreciated, because Harry's following the very similar steps. We've seen this ever since Chamber of Secrets. He's following very similar steps to Tom Riddle, and he's scared that he's going to become like him. And in this movie where he has his outbursts, and he has his dream sequences, and he goes to dark places of his memory, but it also shows light parts of his memory that Voldemort didn't have, love and friendship. And that's something that I find so amazing. And think about how well it's set up. Order of the Phoenix's story is so precise in what it's about. And it's the one Harry Potter film to me that sticks out as it's about this. It's about this character motivation. It's about this character arc. It's about this character learning, getting from that place to going to that place, and Harry evolving as a character. And we learn more about all the characters around him while doing it. And I find that so amazing in this film. And it's done really, really well. Of course, the big epic action sequence towards the ending of the film, which features Dumbledore and Voldemort going at it. It is epic. And then Harry being possessed by Voldemort and having to overcome that, and telling him that he feels sorry for him because he doesn't have what Harry has. Utterly, chills everywhere. Goosebumps. Utterly brilliant. And I do have some issues with Order of the Phoenix, and I'll get into them now. Some things just happen just too quickly. I think it's the second shortest Harry Potter movie, and it feels a bit too fast. They get to the Ministry of Magic, it's just a bit too fast. This entire finale happens so quickly. Sirius's death, even though impactful later, it just happens, and you're just like, whoa, okay, Sirius just died. Okay, we're moving on to this epic fight. And even though I absolutely love movies, they're able to constantly move, but all the other Harry Potter movies before this film, were very, very slow moving. We're able to really dwell on moments, and this movie doesn't do that as much as the other ones. It's just focused on telling the story, which is why I really love Order of the Phoenix, but at the same time, it doesn't really have that immersivity there as some of the other ones do. I still think it's very tense. I think it has good elements to it. I think I love everything they do with Harry's character and his arc that he goes through in this film. It also introduces Luna Lovegood, and she's such a sweet character. Order of the Phoenix has some great character work. It stands out like that. It's very fast-moving. It's very intense. And in that way, I think it's a great next chapter for this series. I really don't have too many issues with this movie, besides some of it happening a bit too quickly. And that's honestly about it. The rest of it's pretty great. There's some great action in it. There's some great inspirational elements to it. I love where they're placing all the characters, and I think that's all done very, very well. And even though Order of the Phoenix is directed well, it doesn't really stand out to me over some of the other Harry Potter movies. But I still think it's great. I still think it's amazing in pretty much every way. But it just doesn't stand out to me as much as some of the other ones do. I think it has some brilliant character work, some great story elements, and I think it's another great Harry Potter movie. I think it does basically everything it should do very, very well, and I think it uses what was set up at the end of Goblet of Fire and makes a great sequel out of it. And it's a great sequel to that film, and it shows the character's struggles in this 5th year of Hogwarts, and I think it's a great movie. I'm going to give Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix an A. I'm also going to give this movie a 9.3 out of 10. Guys, let me know in the comments what you thought of Order of the Phoenix. If you like this review, like and subscribe, and comment down below your thoughts. And of course, thanks for watching, and goodbye.